Welcome to The Subject is Moot, where everything we discuss is debatable. I am Dom, and across from me is
Mike.
And a special thanks to Vinny and Quiz, the producers of the podcast. We want to hear from you, so write in your opinion, comments, or topics you want us to talk about to thesubjectismoot@yahoo.com, and we will bring them up during future shows. You could also follow us on Twitter at TSIM_podcast, as well as Facebook and Instagram. Listen to us on YouTube, iTunes, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, radio.com, and more. Behind the mics for episode 31. Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year 2020.
Just learned an interesting fact, or probably a little tip there. When you're writing out anything that has a date on it, you want to put 1/1/2020. You don't want to just put 20. Kind of leaves the door open for any...
So watch out for the schemers.
Exactly. Schemers and the scammers.
Yep.
We can't start an episode without thanking Sweetwater for their providing music instruments since 1979, and Pro Audio as well. They have excellent products, pricing, and customer service. Sweetwater offers interest-free financing, free shipping to the lower 48 states.
And free candy.
Free candy with every order. 2-year warranty with almost every product they offer. They are located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Call 800-222-4700 for sales assistance, technical questions, or advice. You could also visit sweetwater.com. If it's a little slow, it's because I'm on there. I'm always on there.
Every day.
I'd like to thank Paul Rowan for his excellent service and product knowledge. I've been dealing a lot with Cameron Green lately, and since this is a year in review for 2019, I think I would like to thank Cam for all of his technical advice. I had hit him with a ton of questions, and every once in a while...
That's weird.
I know.
Gear and tech questions?
And every
Settings?
once in a while, special settings, and every once in a while I do buy something from him just to justify the call.
Yeah.
I don't want to bother the guy all the time and then not order something from him. So thank you, Cam. Thank you, Paul. Happy New Year to the Sweetwater family. So, Mike, I think maybe what we should do is get started with...
Some gear talk?
Some gear talk. What'd you get for 2019? What kind of toys did you get?
I mean, we've spoke, I think, in the past podcasts about my Ibanez AZ 2402, I think blue metallic ice. I picked that up from Sweetwater earlier in the year. It's a beast. The versatility of the guitar is amazing. You get all different types of sounds and tones. The neck, unbelievable. I mean, I'm partial to Ibanez as it is, but this is a new, this is new. It's unlike any other. It's unlike the RGs or any other model that they've put out. That
looks like it though.
Past.
Doesn't have the same body style as an RG.
Neck's a little bit different too.
Okay.
It definitely has a little bit of a different feel, and again, the versatility of the sounds and tones you get. It's an amazing guitar. The price points are a little bit higher for the AZs, but I think it's because they're putting a little bit more thought and craftsmanship into the newer models. And just like everything else, everything goes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? It's a beauty.
I saw a picture of it. I didn't see it in person. I know somebody who has it, loves it. I've read all the reviews. Since you told me about it, I read the reviews. And you know what? I've had Ibanez guitars. I've had Ibanez basses. I probably will never buy another Ibanez instrument. But when they make high-end stuff like that, and you hear such great things, it kind of makes me maybe reconsider.
Every model has
maybe one day
dynamite reviews, and a lot of the top players out there, newer players, are getting endorsements, and the endorsement is the AZ.
Mm-hmm.
Marcos Foley, Martin Miller, Tom Quayle, a lot of big names out there in the guitar community have gotten their own models, which are all beautiful, by the way.
Well, in 2019, I picked up a Lakeland bass, 20 frets, a little different than what I'm used to. I have to say the action of the neck shape, style, everything about the Lakeland bass makes me say to myself, I'm not switching to another brand. But I love Spectre so much.
I was going to say.
The Lakeland bass that I have is a 20 fret. I have another one that's 22 frets. That's the most they make is 22 frets. They don't make a 24. I feel a little boxed in, but because of its playability, its neck, its action, and everything about the bass, the Lakeland bass, it won't make me stray anymore. But I had to pull the trigger on a Spectre. Should have bought a 5-string, but I bought a 4-string. It's 24 frets. I do like the longer neck. I don't play down low or high, if you want to call it high up on the neck. I'm not a solo artist, but that longer neck does feel nice.
You shouldn't marry yourself to a particular brand for the only reason. I mean, we're not getting endorsed, obviously. So
true,
and you never know because I'm an Ibanez guy. Don't get me wrong. I have an older original Petrucci Ernie Ball Music Man, which is gorgeous and beautiful. The playability of it is not what I'm used to because it's a little bit different than my Ibanez neck radius and all that. But one of the other little toys I purchased myself this year was a Strandberg Bowden 6. And it is extremely different from anything else that I've ever played with it. The way the neck is made, the size of the guitar, the no neck doesn't really make much of a difference.
No headstock.
No headstock, I'm sorry.
I have to tell you, I don't.
No
How
neck
could you?
guitar, wow. That's really.
It's just a headstock and a body.
That's it. It's just a body.
You know what? I can't get into that look. And I see the basses out there, the no headstock basses. I can't get into that look. So
Years ago, when Vito Bratta first started playing Steinbergers, I think that's what they were called, and Alan Holdsworth had one. I hated them, didn't like them, never thought. But once I saw, I think the first artist years ago that I seen hold a Strandberger in his hand was Plini, and I was like, what on earth is that guitar? The style, the body style, I know the no head was no big surprise, but it had been years since I've seen anyone play, because Vito had been out of the spotlight for years and years, and Alan Holdsworth too. You knew he had his signature Steinberger, so it was what it was. It had been years since you've seen anyone play with a headless, that I've seen anyone play with a headless guitar. So when I seen it, I was like, what is that? What kind of guitar is that? And it had at the time I called them slanted frets, and I was like, what's going on there? And when I first looked it up, the only way you were able to get your hands on them was from a special order through Ola Strandberg in Sweden. And they were like, after you did all your specs, probably like $3,000, a little bit over, plus shipping and whatnot. But due to Plini making them popular and some other great artists who play them, Sarah Longfield, and I think even Yvette Young played them in the beginning, people started to kind of get wind of them, and more players started playing them, and the company got bigger, and now some of the big distributors are carrying them. I think they're being mass produced either out of Indonesia or Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan. I'm not sure.
But you know what, though? I know there's a lot of emphasis on American-made instruments or whatever instruments. I guess American-made, right? Over Mexican or anywhere else.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have to pick up the instrument. You have to play it. And if it feels nice, take it.
Yep.
Don't worry about the price tag. Because you know what? Is it really the instrument or is it the player?
It's probably 75% the player, 25% the instrument.
Right.
I mean, I've seen things on YouTube here and there of people buying a $50 guitar and tweaking it and turning it into making it sound like a $2,000 guitar.
Right.
But it's a lot of the times it's mostly the player. If Eddie went into a pawn shop and picked up an old used $50 electric, he's still Eddie.
Right.
He may not have the brown sound or the tone or whatever, depending on the pickups and stuff like that. But the bottom line is it's the player the majority of the time. But there's a lot of high-end new instruments that are coming out, new companies that are trying to get their name out there, especially with social media. That's the other thing too. You don't want to produce a bad instrument because within a day,
you get reviews.
You'll be strung out, to dry on social media, and your product is squashed. So you have to keep it up. You got to keep up the quality.
Being a gear guy, though, I could see how you get sucked in. Especially with the social media and the access to all these different companies producing instruments from all over the world, and how you say to yourself, "Oh, I want that one. And when does it end?" It's like music, really. When does it end?
Right. Well, it's like I'm more into buying guitars than buying like gear. But what's caught my interest is all these new this software where you get these ambient modulations, and there's a company called Neural, Neural. They've been putting up some great amp modulations that I really want to delve into. I just need a little bit of help to try to figure out how to do it and how to set it up. Because I bought myself a little amp this year too, which is rare that I buy any kind of gear, but a Yamaha THR-10X, which for the size and price, and you talk about a killer little amp. I saw some of the, it was kind of fresh and new when I bought it, because I bought almost just the turn of the new year last year. And there were just a handful of reviews on YouTube. Some monster players were digging it, and I was like, wow, this is, for this size, this is amazing, this little amp. So I said, let me roll the dice and grab one. And man, oh man, is it great. I don't even need any other amps right now. It's not like I'm playing out. So around the house, you could bring it anywhere.
It really is amazing. Well, look at the intro song to our podcast, right? You did that on the computer.
Right.
right? You didn't have your delay pedal.
That's
so
the wave of the future.
We dialed in on the computer and got the exact sound that you wanted right from the computer. It's just absolutely amazing what you could do. And if you see on Instagram or even any of these social media pages, you see these artists, these guitar players, sitting at a desk with two little monitor speakers and a computer behind them, and that's their rig.
And they sound amazing.
And they sound amazing.
It's great. It's crazy.
Between the two basses that I bought and I guess some of the pedals, I'm kind of back as far as the gear that I got rid of years ago. I'm back to pretty much what I've had in the past, and I don't think I'll be buying anything anytime soon.
You never know.
You never know, but
I like to get a Kiesel. Now, like there's the new Charvel models that look like Strats. They're beautiful, nice roasted walnut, I think, necks, which is what I think my AZ has. You never know. A piece of gear catches your eye or bass catches your eye. You're like, man, what am I going to do?
If you can't pass it up and you got to do it, just pull the trigger, right?
Depends, yeah.
You got to enjoy it,
If the time is right,
Exactly. Since we're talking about gear, there are two products that I actually want to bring up that I'm very, very excited about. This is probably the most important for my playing, and this is called the Musician's Practice Glove.
I thought you were going to do surgery.
I'm not going to do surgery on you.
Thank God.
Okay, so this here is a glove. You know, I sweat a lot. My hands sweat a lot. I used to use oil.
Sweaty.
I'm very sweaty. I used to use oil on my hands. The problem with the oil is that it gunks up the strings. The sweat gunks up the strings as well, and it doesn't allow me to play. And it also doesn't give me the confidence.
There goes your tone. There goes your tone.
There goes my tone. And let me tell you, and I don't wear the gloves because of the tone, but it saves
the strings.
The sweat, the strings, but it saves my fingers from having that feel, that gritty, grimy feel when I'm
Sweat
playing.
and Oil. That'd be a good name for our band.
Absolutely.
Gunk, Sweat and Oil.
That's it, GSO.
Yep.
So I went online.
Copyright.
And thank you to Idiani Mbappe, who I reached out to. He's an unbelievable bass player, talented guy. Reached out to him because he was wearing a black glove. And I says, hey, where did you get that? He gave me the information. I bought some, ripped through them in a week. Literally ripped through them in a week. I play hard on my strings. And while I was waiting for that order to come in, I came across the Musician's Practice Glove. And this is the same exact glove as Scott Devine. I don't know if you ever heard of Scott Devine, but if you go to Scott's bass lessons, he's a popular guitarist, talented as all hell. And
guitarist or bass player?
I'm sorry, bass player.
All right, please.
Sorry, guitar. I forgot I'm sitting across from the guitar snob. Okay, he uses them for a neurological condition called focal dystonia. Okay, it has to do with, I guess, it's a neurological disorder that affects muscles. Okay, in certain areas, I guess, of the body. I don't know much about it. That's why he uses it. But it could be used for multiple reasons, like me. Sweaty hands, I guess, if you want to call that hyperhidrosis, more of a medical term. Sweaty hands. You could use it, I guess, people who don't play every day to build up calluses, put them on. You could use them for guitar. You could use them for bass. Anybody who thinks they need some gloves, check out Musician's Practice Gloves.
You should leave it on the rest of the cast. I think you should leave it.
My hand will be warm.
Yep, leave it on.
But I will say this, though. The silk gloves that I bought, recommended by Mbappe, Idiani Mbappe, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, they were great. They felt good. But as soon as I put these on, these are like a stocking. I mean, you could see all the way down. And the other gloves, too, felt good. But these just feel so much better. And you know what? I'm using one pair of gloves, and I use them on both hands. You could reverse them. You could put the right hand on the left hand.
Once it start wearing out, right?
Once it starts wearing out, you could double.
They're very sexy.
You know what? They come in different colors. White, beige, black. Different sizes from extra small to extra large. You can get them on eBay. You can get them on Amazon.com. You could even get them direct from Don and his website. Don is a fantastic guy. I spoke to him on the phone because I can't say enough about these gloves. It kind of gave me the confidence to play again.
Good.
I used to play with picks back in the day because of that reason, and now I don't play with picks anymore. The other product is a practice product. It's a good practice tool, and it's actually displayed right here. It's called the Shred Neck Warm-Up Practice Tool. You can go to shredneck.com. Billy Sheehan has a signature series model for bass. It actually has the same color as the Yamaha and all his basses. But it's good if you travel and you just want to keep your chops up and your fingers going, keep the blood flowing, keep the muscles going. Just throw it in your bag, take it with you, and practice.
It's cool.
It actually is very cool. They make them good. They make guitars. They make basses. They even make travel guitars and basses. They make 5-string and 4-string ones. So definitely check out shredneck.com. It's definitely a great practice tool. What else do you have as far as gear or anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's really it. I mean, I rolled the dice on a new pick. Usually I'm very set in my ways with my Dunlop Jazz 3s. especially with the ones with the max grip, because they don't slip. I could move them around my fingers when I change for tones. I don't need that. Those gloves.
You can't.
It's cool. It is cool, but
no, you actually can't use they'll slip out of your hands.
But I like to keep an open mind when it comes to picks occasionally, because again, if I didn't take the shot with the Jazz 3s years ago, I would never have known.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at them, I was like, oh, what are these small little picks? And the next thing you know, I've been using them for decades
I
now.
gave, some of the picks you gave me back in the day, those small ones, I gave to somebody, this kid who plays. He actually liked them.
Yeah, the old Dunlops. I mean, Dunlops makes incredible picks. They're like they have to be the leader in all different sizes and types of picks. But actually, the new one I gave a shot was Dream Theater John Petrucci pick.
Really?
Believe it or not.
I mean, we'd actually almost got through an episode without you mentioning Dream Theater.
I know. And they're a little bit bigger than the Jazz 3s. They're a little. They don't have a good grip on them. They're really cool. I haven't gotten completely used to it yet. I think I enjoy playing acoustic more with it than electric. But as I'm starting to play a little bit more now that Christmas is over, and I stopped listening to my Christmas music transition. Once the 6 rolls around, a little Christmas, your birthday, we'll move forward. And I'll start playing again, hopefully, and getting inspired by, the great players I listen to, and we'll move and all that. It is a cool pick. I have a feeling I'm going to stick with my Jazz 3, but maybe the next time we speak, I'll be telling you how much I can't put that pick down.
Sometimes you need something to kind of get you to going again, whether it is a pick and whether it's a glove.
Right.
You know what? This actually, I'm playing more now than I almost ever played before in my life.
Right. That's good.
I do have a little bit more time than I did years ago, and that's the reason why I gave up music for a really long time. I took a big, long hiatus, sold everything. Shouldn't have. But I'm back.
But you're back, so don't worry about it.
I'm back, and I'm not worried about it.
2020 is a new year, and you never know.
We have an addition to our backdrop. Can't thank John Seary, an amazing painter, artist, for his Kurt Cobain addition to the wall of musical icons.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John Seary. I think it's a fantastic painting, unbelievable talent. We thank you very much for this addition and this donation to our backdrop. I will say I'm not a Nirvana fan of their music. Some catchy tunes. We understand their place in history.
Nevermind, still a great record, but
great record. It's definitely its place in history, but
overrated. Sorry.
Did you say
bring
that
the
out
heat? Bring the heat.
So, but it is a fantastic photo. So what Mike wants from you, John, is
Rush.
Maybe a picture of Rush, or a Dream Theater symbol,
or us,
or maybe just maybe a sketch of us sitting here at the table
on a loose leaf paper.
No, on canvas.
I know, I'm kidding.
I want it like that.
I know.
I want to replace it like right here in the middle. If it's us,
with our subjects moot
above
us.
You know what, John? Get creative. That's what you do. You're an artist. You get creative, and you came up with that genius of a picture for.
But John's been good since he's a kid. I knew him since he's a kid, and he drew I think a Batman picture for me because he knows a Batman fan on a piece of paper once. I was like, I even said to his mom, I said, keep on him with this, and he did, and I think he's got a lot of artwork around places in Staten Island and whatnot. So he's a beast. He's a beast of an artist.
Yes, he is.
He's a young dude still, so hopefully he keeps it going.
Yep, he's very creative. He's got a good mind, and he's a good guy. So thank you very much, John.
So I heard you played a show recently?
Did you see my post?
I did, and I made a little comment on your post.
You did, yeah.
It's a handsome...
Old,
yeah. Yeah, well...
Hey, listen, call it what it is.
You
right?
played with a bunch of young artists.
Let me tell you something. I play with a bunch of young, talented artists.
You're lucky.
You know what? I consider myself very lucky. I'm honored.
You're not old, by the way, but
I'm not old. No, I mean compared to a 150-year-old person, I'm not that old. But
true.
I do want to thank Jeff Nelson, a local Central New Jersey artist, up and coming. He's a vocalist. He plays.
So not the pitcher.
Not
from
the pitcher.
Yankees.
Not that Jeff Nelson. There happens to probably be another Jeff Nelson, and I'm gonna probably venture to say there could be a third or a fourth Jeff Nelson out there. But this is not Jeff. That Jeff Nelson. All right, he plays guitar, he plays piano, and he sings. And he's actually done a lot in his music career. He's not even 20 years old yet. Okay, and
it's good to be young.
I look forward to hearing him in the future. I want to thank him for inviting me in to play this gig. We played some music that I don't really play. I don't listen to really. I mean, it's Charlie Puth, it was Ed Sheeran, and it was Shawn Mendes.
You got out and played, man.
I got out and played, and I played with talented people. He also had Alex Parmet, who's another unbelievable guitar player, talented musician, and hearing what he's got down the pike was really interesting, and I want to go see him play when he plays at these shows up and coming, and you can follow him on his Instagram page as well. And another one who sang with us, she actually sang the last song. She played 4 songs before we went on, and she joined us for the last song of our set, and her name is Sophie Griffiths, and unbelievable vocalist. It was a pleasure playing with these people, guys, but there was guys and girls, and I will say, though, I look forward to their progress and where they're going to be in the future. I wish them nothing but luck and great success.
Hey, a live gig's a live gig, man. It's always fun.
It was a lot of fun. It definitely was.
Hopefully you get more to come in 2020.
Yeah, I'm hoping. It's still early, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. So real quick, I'm going to just go over a quick list of 2019 albums of the year. For me,
can I sit back?
You could sit back and listen, but I'm not going to go on and on. I'm just going to basically lay it out. There's no order.
You not going on and on is like me saying I'm not going to swim.
All right, yeah. There's no real order, and there's no like top 10 or 50. And there's no instrumentals in this. That's going to be another list for another time.
That's pretty impressive.
No death metal. None of my death metal bands I like.
For a guitar snob, that's pretty impressive.
Take it easy, huh? So obviously, to top the list, you ready for this one? Dream Theater, Distance Over Time. Devin Townsend, Empath. Opeth new record. Flying Colors new record. Leprous, Voyager. Sean James, The Dark and the Light, which is, even though it's not prog or metal, it's still up there for one of my albums of the year. Artificial Language. Neil Morse Band had an album, Great Adventure, and he also made another album, which was a story about Jesus Christ, which is amazing. It's like a prog opera. It was the guy just doesn't stop. Pattern Seeking Animals, the new Keen, the new Soen, and the new Vandenplas. I can go on and on, but I won't. Those are some of my top releases of 2019. I will do another list at some point of the instrumentals and the guitarists that I like, and also maybe another list of some of the death metal. Even though I'm not huge into death metal, there is a handful that I do love. So maybe I'll touch on that. But for 2019, those are some of my top releases.
That's good.
For sure. Yep. Great year. It was a great year in music.
And it's the beginning of 2020, so a lot of good things to come down the pike.
I think down the road we'll do, maybe in one of our next shows, we'll talk about what I'm looking forward to for release-wise in 2020.
Well, I know you and I head back into the studio, I think, for the next several weeks.
Hopefully you'll bang a bunch out in this first month or so.
And, keep it going. So with that being said, Mike, if you have nothing else, I think we wrap it up. We want to hear from you, so write in your opinion, comments, or topics you want us to talk about.
Please write in your top albums of the year, anyone.
Oh, sure, absolutely. We always welcome that.
We'll talk about it, too.
We always welcome anybody writing in their top of anything.
Top 10, top 50, top 5, whatever you got.
Hence the write in your comments, topics, or anything you want to talk about, too.
Well, I said that.
The subject is moot@yahoo.com. You can follow us on everything that I mentioned earlier, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and everything else that I keep saying in the front and the back of the shows.
Just so you know.
Just a little FYI. But for now, I am Dom, and across from me is
Mike, and we are out.